Hello and good morning to yet another edition of the board meeting. This is an event where we bring one individual school face to face with the Central Board of Secondary Education. In today's episode, we have Army Public School ASC C&C Bengaluru, headed by its principal, Srimati Upasana Yadav. Upasana ji will be speaking to Dr. Biswajit Saha, Director Skills and Training, CBSE. Let's see what today's episode brings out.
Army Public School, ASC Center and College. Established in the year 1950 as a nursery school, the school was renamed as Vertica English Medium School in 1965. The school got affiliated to CBSE in April 1989 and was renamed as AC Public School, looking after the education needs of the children up to class 7. In April 2012, school got converted to Army Public School AC Center and College and was upgraded to Senior Secondary School in April 2013 with its first batch of class 12 in year 2014-15. We, as Army Public School ASC C&C, popularly known as APS-ASC, we are a co-educational English medium school affiliated to CBSE, located in sprawling 4.5-acre site in the heart of Bengaluru city. Our school is not just a structure of bricks and cement, but holistically designed eco-space that is beautiful enough to keep minds fresh throughout the day. The lush green trees, chirping sounds of birds and colorful flowers says it all. After all, a great school is a better home away from home. At APS-ASC, the growth of each student is of utmost importance. The APS learners have an open and creative mindset for better critical thinking skills and learn how to build strong supportive relationships, understand their impulses and developing empathy for others. We encourage the students to see the world from a global perspective while keeping the humane value at the core of their hearts. Our school is equipped with excellent science and information and communication technology laboratories. We also have resource room, additional IT labs and AI lab added recently. Sensory park, adult tinkering lab, language labs and much more are soon on its way. Our classrooms are geared up with top-notch teaching aids and learning materials. The APS-ASC has emerged as a center of academic excellence in successfully providing the best practical quality education along with Cups and Bulbuls, Scouts and Guides and NCC. Thus, gearing the students to achieve higher standards before joining the mainstream of the society. The school's alumni would emerge both academically and morally strong individuals with flying colors. Army Public School, AC Center and College. Truth is God.
Upasana ji, the show is all yours.
Thank you so much, sir. And good morning, sir. And good morning to all the viewers.
Good morning.
Dr. Saha, it's an honor to get an opportunity once again to interact with you. Last year as well, we had an opportunity to have a discussion, an elaborate one, on the same platform of Engage with Science. And I'm thankful to this platform of Engage with Science, and especially Mr. Saurav and Mr. Puneet for giving us and my school this opportunity. Just a brief about my school, sir. Our school initially was known as Vartika Public School, then graduated to ASC Public School, and then we came under the aegis of AWS, and the school was known as Army Public School, ASC Center and College since then. Dr. Saha, we have been looking forward to have an interaction with you, sir. और हमारी जिज्ञासा रूपी सीप में असंख्य प्रश्न आपके ज्ञान रूपी बूंदों की प्रतीक्षा में है। हमें आशा ही नहीं बल्कि पूर्ण विश्वास है कि आज असंख्य विद्यार्थी आपके ज्ञान के ओज के आधार पर अपने अभिष्ट पथ पर अग्रसर होंगे। आपके मार्गदर्शन के आलोक में विद्यार्थियों के भविष्य की एक सशक्त नींव के निर्माण की हम कामना करते हैं। With this, sir, may I request you, can we go ahead with the first question of the session, sir?
Please, go ahead.
Sir, as the aspects of the NEP are unfolding and all the schools have begun the implementation of the same, what are your expectations from the school leaders, sir, in the next 5 years, sir?
Already, all the school leaders are doing great job, but you have to truly internalize the new education policy, because the perspective is changed, and the situations, considering the dynamisms of different kind of, whether it is tech infusions or COVID pandemic. So altogether, I think scenario changes. So considering all these conditions to implement NEP in next 5 years, first of all the teachers community need to reorient themselves, because whatever you know absolutely on the academic front, definitely it's having a great competency within, but new education policy is truly focusing on outcome-based education and experiential-based learning. So it is hard to lead the textual material which on which most of the teachers and school leaders are oriented with. So that's why this reorientation, that means student can learn on the curriculum objective based on anything. It could be from the open market, it could be from the shopping mall, or it could be maybe conversations with the bus conductor. So that narrative need to be scripted. It is not so easy. The way I am sharing with, okay, it may happen that, okay, fine, everything is doable. But only thing is that at present, a routine particularist kind of culture is there in entire ecosystem. Means whatever the timetable is there, and monthly basis syllabus coverage, so and conducting routine assessment. So all those things are part of our life, and we are trying to inject this same routine or timetable to the student of the future. Now, NEP is actually aiming something else. Now, whatever it is a multidisciplinary approach, then that means all this structured approach of curriculum delivery need to be changed. So for that, who is responsible? So teacher, overnight, if you say, they may not change. So school leader, first of all, need to be convinced with, and if you are convinced, then definitely you can convince others after thorough consultation, and for which the timeline is huge. But कल क्यों, आज से क्यों नहीं हम ये चीज शुरू कर सकते? At least maybe at micro level, let us start without waiting for the NCF to come, without waiting for a routine directive from the side of the government of India or state to come. All those micro interventions our school leader can do. Our teachers are very much competent enough. They are already doing. Only thing is that how we can push those experiential based learning into the system, and gradually, if 1000 schools are practicing in 1000 way, and through this kind of forum, we can again sit together and finalize the context, customize, and that becomes the delivery model altogether. Fine.
Very rightly said. Sir, then from your words, I understand that we need to start thinking out of the box and get away from the set lines and the boundaries which we have already created in our system. Sir, in the same league, sir, as we all are actually planning, is the Department of Skill and Development is also planning for any, skill development of the teachers so that they are better equipped for the implementation and the upcoming changes in the curriculum, sir?
Definitely, because teachers training is a fundamental component. And again, I will take the lead from the NEP. Here, we are talking about 50 hours compulsory training for all the teachers, number one, including the principal. So these 50 hours, out of these 50 hours, maybe CBSE is taking responsibility of at least 25 hours. So both for the principal and teachers, in diversified area, we are planning to conduct training. We are already doing. And very soon that New Year's calendars will come out through all our Center of Excellence. So teachers training is fundamentally is an essential component of any upgraded model, be it NEP or be it quality aspects of education's delivery. So we are talking about SQA, which is pilot is going on. And over a period of time, I think the way NAC accreditations are there for the university and colleges, similarly, SQA is actually behind that, how we can do some kind of quality benchmark of our affiliated schools. And they are also, teachers training is a vital component. No matter a certain schools may be very proud of their infrastructure, but certain schools may not have as good as infrastructure of A category, B category, or C category city. But if the teachers are qualified and teachers know how to handle the classroom and campus situation, I think their value point will be more than that of the buildings and other amenities available in the campus. So truly, board is considering the teachers training component, the leadership training. You are part of the pedagogical leadership training. You have seen how the annual pedagogical plan. So again, it is interlinked with each other, especially with the quality pattern and quality aspects. So that way, we need to come out with a stronger plan internally by every schools. Means now school has to internally look into what are the training requirement for them, their teacher. So as a principal, as a school leader, and even I am urging through this forum to the school management, together you need to see it before start of the session. And what are the training requirement for the individual teacher, be it sports teachers, art teachers, or even for the school librarian. आप लोगों को वो चीज देखना पड़ेगा. And then आप इसको लिस्ट कर लीजिए, इस साल में हमको ये ट्रेनिंग रिक्वायरमेंट है. Then what are the new subjects you are going to offer this year? For that, any special training is required or not? And considering all these agronomics, I think you have to create your own training calendar, at least the need, and then discuss the matter with the district training coordinator and CBSE's Center of Excellence, and also share the plan with us. Then whatever we can support, we are going to support in complete year. And also, if you need some external agency support, that also, because we are very much interacting with AICT, we are interacting with multiple nationalized institutes, be it IIT or IIM or other premier body. So through those organizations also, we can conduct multiple training program, which essentially required and listed by you. So I'm stressing on this area because आपका training requirement आपको बोलना पड़ेगा. Many a time we miss that. हम कुछ ट्रेनिंग कैलेंडर बनाते हैं, मे बी सिलेक्टिव स्कूल का साथ बात करके, उसमें हो सकता है आपका रिक्वायरमेंट फुलफिल नहीं हो रहा है. पिछले 5 साल का रिक्वायरमेंट एनालिसिस कीजिए और उसमें न्यू ओल्ड सारे रिक्वायरमेंट इकट्ठा करके देन यू कम टू अस. आई नो योर school group is also doing a lot of training internally, but even then many schools are very much focused on the teachers training and principal training, but even then, so that managing this requirement by locally on your own, by CBSE and some external organizations, ये तीनों का 3 buckets में अगर हम fill कर ले, I think through that we can plan very effectively so that no teachers left behind training. और training fatigue भी नहीं होना चाहिए, वो भी नहीं होना चाहिए ज्यादा सिर्फ ट्रेनिंग सर्टिफिकेशंस के लिए ट्रेनिंग हो रहा है बट उसका रियल निष्कास क्लासरूम तक पहुंच नहीं पा रहा है. तो स्कूल लीडर को मेरा ये भी रिक्वेस्ट है, अगेन आई एम बैकिंग टू योर फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, 5 साल में वो रूटीन मैनर्स में आपको देखना पड़ेगा एक टीचर्स ट्रेनिंग लेने का बाद उसका बिहेवियर कुछ चेंज हुआ है, स्पेशली क्लासरूम बिहेवियर, उसका हैंडलिंग ऑफ क्लासरूम जैसे पहले थे अभी भी ऐसे ही है, या उस ट्रेनिंग से उनको और क्लासरूम को और कैंपस को कुछ फायदा हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा है, वो प्रिंसिपल को देखना पड़ेगा.
Very right, sir. And I am really appreciating this, effort of yours that we will be able to coordinate with the premier institutions through you, and the resource persons would be there available for our teachers to train them. Really looking forward to it, sir. It's a very noble gesture from the skill and training department, and I'm sure all the teachers are going to get benefited as well as the principals. And eventually our schools are going to prosper there, sir. Sir, I'll go to the next question. This question is from one of our students called Abhijit, sir. He says, sir, the current exam pattern and the curriculum are mainly focused on making a student an employee or a job seeker. We, students, are not exposed much to the subjects or courses which may help a student to become an entrepreneur or a job maker. In our country, from the very beginning of our life, we are pushed in a process of becoming an employee, and the parents are also consistently pushing, maybe suppressing some of the valuable young entrepreneurs of the country and indirectly slowing the country's growth. This is the student's question from Abhijit of 10th A grade, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I think I completely won't agree with this, that our education and assessment is towards creating only employee. Of course, certain component may be interpreted in that way, but nowhere the outcome of, if you look into the NCERT curriculum, even today's curriculum, nowhere it is written, because the constructive pedagogical approach is mainly the focusing on inquiry-based approach, both for the teachers and students. So textual materials is actually focused towards that. So the curriculum issue is actually not that way designed. Curriculum is designed in a manner so that one can really address the scientific inquiry. One can very much incline towards research and development. One can incline with the entrepreneurial activity. And of course, the employee-centric mindset is very much there with your parents and our parents, and we as a parent also. So that's really mindset problem of interpreting the curriculum, which entails or sometimes motivate that, okay, once you complete this curriculum 10+2, then some good appearing for the joint entrance exams and going to premier institutes, and from there you would be recruited by the big companies. So that mindset, even if you look into your senior students everywhere, especially in your class 10th, where the subject selections is mainly debated upon based on the package, based on the future package. And as you are in the Silicon City of India, so there this kind of discussions are very much there in the parents WhatsApp group also. And it is not that they are limiting themselves with the school teachers or classroom activities. They are also discussing the which coaching institutes you are inclining to join. So there that employee centric assessment starts. So my request to Abhijit and all your peers, that it is not like that. It is up to you which component you are accepting and you are observing, and your hobby, passion, and career need to be decided by you along with your parents. And of course, the teachers are very much instrumental in your journey. So I don't agree with this, but maybe the way the culture has been developed in the ecosystems, they are your understanding on the systems is very much true. So I think you have to some way empty you this kind of thinking, and from the same systems you have seen the great leaders are there who are internationally recognized in majority of the professional field. And even many of the dropouts even instrumentally showcase themselves as a great entrepreneur of the country, and globally also it is quite visible. Now it is up to you to decide, and I am definitely I want to encourage you that it is your passion and your call. Curriculum, no matter, there are 100 ways of absorbing the things on your own way. So be focused and be straightforward in your thinking. And only one last word I would like to share with the student community, that at this point of time, we need to become an independent thinker, number one. Number two, if you can think independently, then your problem solving capacity would be enhanced. And third one is, of course, how you can work with the team as a collaborative member. It is not that jealousy and other components are very much there in our DNA. How we have to drop all those agenda from our life, and so that in a manner of progressive thinking, as a progressive thinker, as a progressive leader, if you want to emerge out, so आपको इस सारे चीज को कुछ जगह पे सप्रेस करना पड़ेगा, कुछ जगह पे एडजस्ट करना पड़ेगा, कुछ जगह पे सरेंडर करना पड़ेगा, और कुछ जगह पे एज ए डोमिनेंस, गुड क्वालिटी एज ए डोमिनेंस फैक्टर्स आपको वो भी बाकी लोगों को मनाना भी पड़ेगा. तो यही मेरा संदेश है आप लोगों के लिए.
Very rightly said, sir. Actually, we need to break the mindset. Especially we also are also a part of the same thing, that we also feel that, okay, once you are through your education, get a good job and get settled. That is the first thing which every parent tells to their child. So we need to break that mindset and open our horizons so that we think ahead and beyond of this. Very rightly said. And sir, I'm sure Abhijit's doubts are cleared, and he is going to look forward to do better in his life and to have more learning with an open mind, and thinking out of the box would be the option for him, sir. Very right, sir. Thank you, sir, for that, sir. Another question from one of my teachers, sir, Mrs. Padma. She says that, sir, though the CBSE board does not specify any cutoff percentages for the admission to class 11th and into the different streams, as you were just previously mentioning, sir, but the class 10th board exam marks are actually taken as the uniform yardsticks to measure the aptitude of the students. So in the absence of the board exams, how to ascertain the level of the student as the measurement of parameters which become more subjective and different from school to school? Your input on this matter, sir, as a general trend which we take is to opt for the science stream, sir. What are your inputs for us regarding this?
This is a big debatable issue and close to my heart, because these specific questions I faced many a time, and I'll try to justify your teacher query. So at this point of time, what we really aiming for, new education's policy is actually trying to drop that separations issue. Means whether it is science stream or whether it is humanities or commerce, under the multidisciplinary approach of educations. And if you look into in last few days newspaper regarding the this common entrance for universities, where the subjectivity component are going to be normalized, number one. So with any subject combinations, one can take up the journey with higher education. Of course, the specifications and mandatory requirement of subjects, wherever it is feasible, that will be there. Whether it is engineering educations, medicine, for the sake of law, for the sake of humanities, for the sake of hotel management, design, fashion technology. In many areas, even today, they don't ask what subject you have studied in 10+2. They want only minimum eligibility criteria of 10+2, qualify the entrance and get through to the admission. Even they do not bother what percentage you scored in 10+2. Now questions comes the 11th admission. So again, we as a part of the systems have created a myth of superiority and inferiority. So it is not that the student have taken that things, rather we force them to look into the perspective. Okay, science means the higher intellect, cognitive skills, low motor skills are required. So all those parameters set by people like us in the school systems, teachers had set that standard. Okay, without that percentage of marks, you are not able to comprehend the higher mathematical concept or physics concept, or even so if one cannot absorb that, whether history is for them. So that means we are violating the common lines of education. So it is not the 10th percentage which we are going to dictate what subject combinations you are eligible to take. Rather, 10 long year, students are very much with you. You know the aptitudes of the student very much. The entire schools, entire progress report of last 9 years are very much assessed by the school internally. Now, the competency area of the child need to be decoded from those 9 years experience. And if you are only stressing on the class 10 board results or first term's results, then it is not justified. So my request to the school community, it is not the 10th board result which will dictate the what subject combination child is supposed to take. 9 long years, rather 9.5 long years are with you, or even before that, many of the students are from nursery level. तो उस इतने सालों का जो तजुर्बा है, उसको टीचर्स, पेरेंट्स और प्रिंसिपल तीनों मिलके उसका स्ट्रेंथ एरिया आपको आउटलाइन करना पड़ेगा. बेशक 8वीं में ही कर दो, सो दैट पेरेंट्स को समझाने में दिक्कत ना हो. अगर गैप रहता है और 1 साल में वो गैप पूरा कर लेते हैं 9th में, 11th का सब्जेक्ट्स आप उस तरह से आप इनको चुनने के लिए हक दीजिए, नॉट द परसेंटेज क्राइटेरिया. उसका बाद अगर कुछ कॉमन आता है, there you can use as a tool, but it should not be the only tool for giving the subjects. I have to leave for another meeting because I am right now in NCBT, so I have to go. I'll take the last questions from you, and I'll leave.
Okay, sir. So the next question is again from one of my colleagues, sir. Due to the COVID pandemic, the assessment pattern was changed in the last session, sir. And for the new academic session, that is 22-23, are we going to continue with the two-term system, sir, or we are going to revert back to the original assessment pattern, sir?
Hopefully original assessment pattern, but it is not the time to comment. Once the curriculum would be out there, that strategic interventions will be there. If predictions with fourth wave and other things are minimal, then definitely the old pattern will be there. If some predictions are coming in, because these decisions we have taken considering the COVID pandemic, the term 1 and term 2. Of course, NEP is talking about, but maybe. So it is not the right time to answer. Maybe from 1st April, the cloud would be cleared by board itself.
That's right, sir. Sir, any recommendation which would be getting for the multidisciplinary subject combinations for 11th and 12th from your side, sir?
You have to look into the basic requirement of educations at UG level. And once the students are inclined to opt history with biology, आज का तारीख में हम स्कूल माना करते हैं, क्या करोगे? फिजिक्स का साथ फिनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट का एक कॉम्बिनेशन बहुत पहले एक सब्जेक्ट एक स्टूडेंट ने लिया था दिल्ली का कोई अच्छे स्कूल में, बट उसको यूजुअली स्कूल डिस्करेज करते हैं. तो माय क्वेश्चन इज डिस्करेज मत कीजिए. हो सकते है उन्होंने कुछ रिसर्च डॉक्यूमेंट्री देखा है या उसका कुछ फ्यूचर इंक्लिनेशन है उस एरिया में काम करने के लिए, तो बट स्कूल के लिए टाइम टेबल बनाने में डेफिनेटली मुश्किल होता है. तो आपका लोकल प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करने के लिए बच्चों का मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी क्रिएटिव कैपेबिलिटी को नष्ट मत कीजिए. माय रिक्वेस्ट, यू अलाउ देम and also request them to adjust with you, because so that may not be many a times if infrastructure, teachers, other problem रहेगा, तो थोड़ा बहुत पेरेंट्स और टीचर्स को ऐसा ना हो बाद में पेरेंट्स आके आपको दोषी बना दे. तो एक म्यूचुअल एग्रीमेंट बिटवीन द पेरेंट्स, स्टूडेंट एंड टीचर होना चाहिए. देन स्कूल्स कैन स्मूथली सेल द मल्टीडिसिप्लिनरी अप्रोच ऑफ एजुकेशन डिलीवरी. With this, thank you very much, Upasana ji and Saurabh ji, for
thank you so much,
inviting me here. I'm sorry अब मेरे को बीच में छोड़ना पड़ रहा है, but I love to interact with all the students and teachers of Army Public Schools Bangalore on some other occasion. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shah. Thank you
very much, sir.
So I think it's been a very absorbing discussion, and I'm sure NEP is in everybody's minds. And maybe since your entire school is in front of you, and that too live on air in front of the entire nation, maybe you would want to talk a little bit more, Upasana ji, about your school's plans on how you wish to embrace NEP, a few aspects of it in coming months.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much that you've taken up this topic. We actually in the school, we are, especially in class 11th, we are planning to introduce host of new subjects, as well as also we are planning this new session onwards in grades 6 to 10th. We are planning to introduce a lot of skill courses which are there in CBSE, sir. And since these skill courses are all 12 hours, one can complete the course. So we intend to give at least 3 to 4 skill courses to the 6th to 10th grade children, which they will take up during their hobby classes. And these skill courses are going to range from artificial intelligence to financial management, to tourism, to beauty and wellness. So there is a host and a big variety of skill courses which we intend to give to the students, so that they also get an introduction or a little exposure to the different kind of subjects which will be subsequently available for them when they are there in grade 11th and 12th. So generally when they are coming from 10th to 11th class, they generally do not have any exposure for financial accounting and business studies and political science. Of course, little bit in social science they have an exposure, but finances, there is a complete lack of knowledge for the children. So we intend to introduce all the subjects in the form of skill courses from grade 6 onwards during hobby classes. So I think that will help the students to and also the parents to understand better as to what is the aptitude and the liking of the child. So this is one major thing which we plan to introduce this session. After that,
please.
sir,
Go ahead, please.
I have a question for you, sir, actually. With respect to engage with science. May I, sir?
Yeah, please go ahead. Please.
Okay, sir. So most of the students, sir, they don't relate science subjects to history and geography, such as archaeological chemistry, zoo archaeology, paleoethnobotany, radiocarbon dating, just to name a few. Will engage with science cater to the above topics to create inquisitiveness towards the integrated learning approach amongst the students?
That's an amazing question. In fact, I must mention now that your teachers and students are also watching the show. During the course of the last 1 year that Engage with Science has been, trying to build up excitement among schools at the level of teachers, at the level of students, etc. One of the things that we have very consciously treaded upon is this very multidisciplinary approach. And, we had met a teacher in Kolkata who walked up to us and said, look, I'm a music teacher. And is it okay if I take part in Engage with Science activities? And when we were curious, when we asked her that, what is it that drove her towards Engage with Science? She said, I teach sitar, guitar, tanpura, etc. to my students. But when they ask me what's the difference, then the answer lies in physics. So, it's about frequency, it's about vibrations, it's about, sound, it's about how the way the sound waves travel. I mean, it's an amazing intermingling of science and humanities and music, etc. Similarly, there's been another very good example where a teacher of history walked up to us and said, I teach students that Savai Raja Jai Singh of Jaipur, he built the Jantar Mantar in Jaipur and Delhi to use it as a sun clock. Now, while I can tell students when it was built, why is it red in color, etc., etc., the whole science behind measuring time through the sun's rays is all about reflection, refraction, and physics. So there is bound to be a natural intermingling of, different subjects when we start enjoying science. And I'm sure all of you from the academic world would be, miles better in terms of figuring out how to intermingle different subjects into science and vice versa and making it interesting. But because Engage with Science does not really, go step by step with the curriculum for obvious reasons, because if we go, very mechanically with a curriculum, we will be bound to a curriculum maybe. So we are agnostic to boards, we are agnostic to languages, but we are only completely committed to science. So the idea is that while we can encourage and motivate the entire academic ecosystem of teachers and students to sample the brilliance and utility of science in our lives, at the same time, I feel schools will always face a challenge now that the NEP has come in and interdisciplinary approaches are now going to become very, very popular. Schools will now literally be sometimes struggling to figure out how many combination permutations are possible to be offered to students, given the number of rooms you have, given the number of teachers you have. And my personal hunch is that ultimately NEP's interdisciplinary approach will have to adopt online teaching as an option, because a school with, let's say, 30 classrooms will only be able to give that many number of permutation combination in terms of options to the students. Now, as you rightly said, that if a student comes up with two diverse choices, saying that, I want to study physics on one side and I want to study accounting on the other side, and if he's the only student, would a school say no to the student? Or would a school say, okay, you have the liberty under the NEP to take it up, so why don't you take it up? So in order to accommodate these, unlimited number of combinations that students might want to choose based on whatever their aspirations are, I have a feeling that online teaching is really not going away. In fact, COVID has actually shown us the tip of the iceberg by popularizing online teaching. In the last 2 years, online teaching has become mainstream, but I feel NEP will give the second lease of life to online teaching, even if it is optional.
Very rightly said, sir. Of course, I am sure the schools would be wanting to give the students this opportunity to, opt for varied subjects. But of course, there would be some practical challenges, and the schools will have to take up some pragmatic, midway path to also cater to the students' choices and to give them the opportunity to study these varied subjects, and also to have a proper timetable allotment, because that also eventually becomes a problem for the principals and the other people who are planning the session. So I'm sure there is going to be a midway which every school is going to carve their own path, which is going to be easy and also to accommodative, I would say.
I feel if you look at the global scenario, I feel somewhere the NEP will take our education system towards a module-based approach. The limitations that you are talking about in terms of logistics of, planning the timetable, planning the, the utilization of classrooms, etc., is only because in India, teaching is assumed to be only live in the classroom. If you add a layer of teaching where, let's say, an accountancy teacher would prepare a module, and post it on the school's website, and students are encouraged to consume it from the internet and then come back with questions if they have any. If this deferred model of online teaching is practiced with modules prepared by your respective teachers, I think you might be able to accommodate a lot more combinations than would be possible in the pure physical manner.
Yes, that's a very good idea, and I'm sure, sir, we would be able to accommodate what my students have, are planning to opt for. And sure. As you were mentioning, online teaching is not going anywhere. It is going to continue. Maybe, the schools opted for the revision or, testing or assessment, or as you're saying, to, for a flip learning, module. But I'm sure it is here to stay. It's not going anywhere in the near future. That's how we all should look forward to incorporate technology in our daily routine, the orthodox teaching system which we've been using in our schools. So that is going to be a combination of both.
Great show, ma'am. Thank you so much for organizing this show. This has been a very good experience, though we did not get Dr. Saha for the full time, but never mind. We will get many more such opportunities. And since all the teachers and students are there today, I would exhort all of you to please participate in as many activities. We try to ensure that Engage with Science is not intrusive. It does not distract you from your regular studies, but it only motivates you to enjoy your science teaching and learning a lot more.